The ballroom of the Shard's rooftop hotel in London glittered with gold, diamonds, and pride. It was the 65th birthday celebration of Edward Vance, founder of Vance Luxury Group, a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire with stores in over 30 countries. He was a legend. Ruthless, brilliant, adored by the media. And tonight, the entire business world was there to applaud him. But none of them knew what was coming. His son, Adrian Vance, stood quietly in a black suit near the edge of the crowd, 28 years old, calm, distant. He hadn't seen his father in over 4 years. But tonight, he was invited front row. When Edward stepped on stage to give his speech, champagne in hand, the crowd cheered. He smiled, soaking in the spotlight. "My success," he said, "is the product of hard work, vision, and the love of my family." That's when Adrian walked up to the stage. The room fell silent. He stood next to his father, looked him dead in the eye, slapped him hard across the face. Gasps echoed. Cameras flashed. Champagne glasses dropped. Edward staggered, stunned. Adrian leaned into the microphone. "This man built an empire by destroying lives, including mine. You all celebrate him. But none of you know what he did." Security rushed forward, but Edward raised a hand. He stared at his son, his face red, his hand on his cheek. "What are you doing?" He whispered, "I'm doing what you never had the courage to do. Tell the truth." The room went into chaos. Journalists scrambled. Social media exploded within minutes. But this wasn't a stunt. It was a reckoning. Adrian stormed out of the hall. Reporters followed, but he disappeared into the city night by morning. The video had 80 million views. Edward tried to contain the scandal, released a statement, family disagreement, private matter. But the world wanted answers. And Adrian gave them an interview 2 days later, told everything. His mother, Lydia, was Edward's first wife, a fashion designer who co-founded the Vance brand in the early days. But when she discovered illegal labor practices and financial fraud inside the company, she threatened to go public. Edward divorced her quietly, stripped her of shares, and used his lawyers to ruin her career. He kept custody of Adrian and told the world Lydia had mental health issues. At 10, Adrian was sent to boarding school. By 16, he figured it out: the money, the lies, the erasure of his mother. When he confronted Edward, he was told, "Do you want to be a prince in this empire or the son of a nobody?" Adrian stayed silent until now, because what Edward didn't know was that Lydia had kept everything: emails, contracts, recordings, and Adrian had them all. Asterisk, within days. The UK government launched an investigation into Vance Luxury Group. Stock prices plunged. International partners suspended contracts. But Edward didn't step down. Instead, he went on live TV. "My son is angry, understand, but he's confused." Adrian replied with a post that simply read, "I'm not confused. I'm your consequence." Then, the final blow. Adrian leaked a video his mother had secretly recorded, a conversation between her and Edward, discussing hush payments to foreign factories and threats made to whistleblowers. The clip ended with Edward saying, "No one will believe you. You're just the wife." The world did believe her. Edward was forced to resign as CEO. Shareholders demanded his removal. He paid over £800 million in fines and settlements. His reputation, once untouchable, was destroyed. Adrian refused to take over the company, even when offered. Instead, he donated the evidence files to an international journalism group, then disappeared from public view. It took months for the dust to settle. 1 year later, Edward sat alone in a private hospital. No press, no interviews. Adrian visited once. His father looked older, smaller, defeated. Edward whispered, "Why did you hate me so much?" Adrian replied, "I didn't hate you. I just didn't love the lie." Then he left. Today, Vance Luxury is under new leadership. It's rebuilding slowly. Lydia reopened a small design studio in Paris. Her name now respected in the industry again, and Adrian, He teaches business ethics at a university in Florence. He tells his students, "Success is not about who claps for you. It's about what truth survives when the clapping stops." And sometimes he looks out at the room and says nothing, because the slap that shocked the world didn't just break a man, it broke a legacy and rebuilt it with something real. Asterisk.